And
I want to love myself without needing someone else to say it to me. I want to love myself without needing someone's help to show it to me. Hey, cause I can be mean in my mind, beat myself up all the time with awful thoughts, and I can't eat myself alive. I'm gonna try, it's gonna be an awkward talk, but I love you, I don't say it enough. I love who you are, who you've become. Don't know why I cannot hear it, unless it comes from someone else. But I'ma find a way to finally feel it when I say it to myself. When I say it to myself. I want to be someone who's not swayed by opinions. Be me authentically without the apologies. And want my heart to soar without being insecure. And point out what's wrong with me. Sometimes subconsciously, yeah, I can be mean in my mind, beat myself up all the time with awful thoughts, and I can't eat myself alive. I'm gonna try, it's gonna be an awkward talk, but I love you, I don't say it enough. I love who you are, who you've become. Don't know why I cannot hear it, unless it comes from someone else. But I'ma find a way to finally feel it when I say it to myself. When I say it to myself. I want to love myself without needing someone else to say it to me. I love you, I don't say it enough. I love who you are, who you've become. Don't know why I cannot hear it, unless it comes from someone else. But I'ma find a way to finally feel it when I say it to myself. When I say it to myself. When I say it to myself. Everybody needs a go-to karaoke song. They wanna make you sing along. So take a sip of courage and just get up on that stage. Forget about your worries and just let the music play. Everybody needs a go-to karaoke song.
Bobby Joe was the head cheerleader. 15 years and another man who leave her. Tonight she let her hair hang down. She's up there singing Funky Town. And
Barry came down from New York City. He's singing in color, and it isn't very pretty.
he wants to fit in, but it's alright. You can't tell him he ain't Janie Johnson tonight. No, no.
Everybody needs a go-to karaoke song. They wanna make you sing along. So take a sip of courage and just get up on that stage. Forget about your worries and just let the music play.
Everybody dreams of a packed house with the spotlight on. It don't matter if you get the words wrong. Everybody needs a go-to karaoke song.
The best version of Freebird tonight is by Tattoo Dave with a little help from his wife.
Can't get a drink cause the waitress is dreaming. She's up there singing, don't stop believing, don't stop believing.
Everybody needs a go-to karaoke song. They wanna make you sing along.
Take a sip of courage and just get up on that stage. Forget about your worries and just let the music play.
Everybody dreams of a packed house with a spotlight on. It don't matter if you get the words wrong.
Everybody needs a go-to karaoke song. They wanna make you sing along,
so take a sip of courage and just get up on that stage. Forget about your worries and just let the music play.
everybody needs a go-to karaoke song.
Go-to karaoke song.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Katie Gideon, and I'm going to be your facilitator for this afternoon or maybe morning session for our Pacific Coasters for 21 Things in 2021, your year in review, as well as a imagination activity. I want to give a huge shout out to my co-host and stage manager, Jennifer. We're actually both calling from Texas. So we're so excited to be here with you guys this afternoon. Certainly this one's gonna be a bit of a challenge. As I was prepping for this, I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm very intimidated by this. I've got some work, but I've got some kind of tips and tricks to get us to go along the way, but I'm really excited about this. So I started my Silk and Sonder journey back in June of 2020 in the kind of height of the pandemic. I was definitely in isolation, live away from my family. So I was looking for ways to keep myself more accountable. I feel like I was checking myself in. I was kind of going through those motions where I wasn't actually sitting and doing that deep reflecting or holding myself really accountable. So I actually completed 2021 almost through the whole year. So I'm certainly excited about that. But it's certainly something that I've used to not only start out just using kind of the habit trackers, mood trackers, just to see how everything's going, but it's fully evolved in kind of my planner. I have fully embraced all of the prompts where I feel like I don't always get to do kind of creativity in that sense. So I've had a lot of fun with that. And then I joined the facilitator team kind of fall of last year, been with it ever since. So I'm certainly enjoying this, but we're so excited you're here. Make sure you have your chat set to everyone so that you can share with everybody. But as we go through this, like I said, to me, this was going to be certainly a little bit of a tough thing. So it's one of those things, use this opportunity that you've set aside to reflect on you and your journey. You don't have to participate in the chat if you don't want to. We're going to give you quite a bit of time to just kind of sit and be with music and reflect on all of these things. So super excited. Going to provide some tips and tricks along the way. Also, if you have any questions or need some other help, please put it in the chat and Jennifer and I can help. Also, once we kind of get through this list, please feel free to share all of your, some of the things you've looked at, your imagination activities, and make sure if you haven't joined our app, you're in that section because we love seeing all the sharing. We love seeing all the photos, love seeing all the illustrations, but I am definitely excited to start this. So our first thing, we're going to do that imagination activity. Then we're going to do that 21 things in 2021 and then some closing. So as kind of already been discussed, because we've been a couple months in or a couple days in, going on the second week, this month's theme is imagination. And so again, what I'm trying to look at are what are ways that we can practice imagination. I'm all about, like, I feel like I have this very creative, vivid imagination, but how can I bring that into kind of grounded in the real world? Because I feel like I've had those like stuck in the clouds moments. I have the great lofty fairy tales, but I keep trying to look at different ways to kind of ground those and bring it into day-to-day life, to not only just kind of add that kind of imagination fun, but also staying pretty practical. So I found this really fun article on on our childhood imagination and how kind of, I'm going to post in there for the actual article, but they definitely came up with a list of kind of ways to practice imagination. And that's a couple listed here. Look at things differently, maybe try it from a different perspective, another angle. I feel like that's what I do with my furniture sometimes. Just always, a different perspective, different look, change the way you see, because that can kind of change some ideas. I'm also a big storyteller, so I love the making up the story, giving yourself the opportunity to daydream, experimenting with your art and hobbies. I love people watching, and I love telling stories about the people that you see when you're people watching, because that's super fun, as well as kind of the something else childish. But that also leads me into our imagination activity. So the last idea that it suggested was do something crazy, wild, strange, or weird. Hence the karaoke song. So what I need to do is go ahead and turn to a blank page. And I want you to think about, what is something crazy, wild, strange, or weird that you want to do? Maybe it's that something that's outside your comfort zone, obviously nothing dangerous, but maybe something wild, something your friends and family think is a little weird, where you tell them and you're excited and they're like, oh, okay. Let's just kind of use our imagination to kind of embrace that kind of weird, maybe talent that we have, that fun, crazy moment. Think about something you've always wanted to do, and why you would think it would be so much fun, but maybe what's holding you back as you kind of reflect here. And then the other thing is, if you're maybe having a hard time finding something now, you could also reflect on maybe something that you did that was a little weird, a little wild, a little crazy, and ask yourself, would you do that again? Or would you do something different? And what were some of the reactions? So for example, the idea I came up with is obviously the kind of karaoke. Everyone should have a go-to karaoke song, because to me, that's a wild and crazy thing. I'm an avid car and shower singer, but having to step up and sing in front of people is one thing. But I love being in front of an audience. So it's always like, what is your go-to karaoke song if you can't quite come up with that wild, crazy thing? We're going to give you some time to share in the chat. Definitely tell us some of those wild, crazy things you want to do and why. And we're just going to embrace that kind of fun imagination opportunity. Wow, welcome back. Thank you everyone for sharing. You guys have so many creative, fun ideas. I need absolutely every one of you to one, go into, the travel agency and plan my vacations. So I saw a lot of kind of travel connections, quitting those day jobs and just going out and doing those kind of fun things. I saw some retreat options. Love seeing the whitewater rafting, the hot air balloon rides. And then on the other side, I saw some kind of taking in new hobbies or new activities. Pole dancing got a popular shout out, a couple kind of YouTube channels opening their own kind of cafes. I'm also one of those, I'd love to own a little bookstore. I feel like I always gravitate to those and books. And then I also saw some of those super fun karaoke songs. But like I said, this was just a fun activity to kind of get that creativity going, embracing imagination. And I feel like if you had a little bit of a kind of a struggle with this, is use this as an opportunity on kind of notes and scratch paper. Is just, take some time to do that daydreaming. Think about those type of things of where could you go if you could go anywhere? If you could have any talent, what could it be? Kind of ask yourself those questions, because I feel like it opens a whole nother door. And I loved the inspiration that everybody was giving us. And so I really appreciate that. Okay, but now we're going to kind of shift gears a little bit and kind of we're moving into the 21 things on 2021, which was the reflection. And so this is definitely, as I said, Jennifer and I were chatting the other day, and I was like, I was really intimidated by this one because it's having to kind of reflect on a whole year. At times I think of just I dwell on the negative. I think of little things, trivial things, and I don't always zoom out enough. So I put together kind of some tips and tricks to kind of frame this exercise. And that I just kind of want to hint on that because there was a really great, found another great article that Jennifer is going to share about harnessing the power of reflection for a great new year. Because I know that this is, again, a very helpful exercise. And before kind of the Silk and Sonder journey, I would not have reflected. I would have dwelled, as I use it, kind of negatively dwelling. So having to kind of embrace this role in this position, it's challenging. So I am right there with you for those folks that find this challenging. But as I said, here's how I want to frame this: is just remember that self-reflection is not a moment or judgment of criticism. It's an opportunity to sit with you and your accomplishments and your struggles and your high points and your low points. Also consider reflecting on the accomplishments by adding appreciation for the little things of each day. I know I ran into some issues with my health that just kind of prevented a lot of things from happening. And so embracing those small kind of little wins is absolutely just as important as thinking of the big. Also, kind of make the most of your strengths when you're feeling weak. Reflect on the skills you excel at and how you can apply them to different challenges for things that you maybe want to carry forward. I always think in my head, there are skills that I just know I can fall back on and coast, as that would sound. But it's those kind of pep talks that you need, that confidence of I can do this as I'm learning something new or something different. And then also look at it as reflection allows you to press that reset button for the goals you ultimately hope to achieve. Because I feel like a lot of this is just kind of small building blocks. We know kind of grandiose achievements take time, and they take tiny little efforts kind of here and there scattered around. No one wakes up overnight and achieves everything. So this is kind of, keep these in mind as we move into this exercise. But essentially what I want to do right now is I want everyone to take a few minutes. We're going to close our eyes and let's start thinking on kind of the reflecting of the past year. What were some of those wins? What were some of those things that we were excited about? Things that got us up, that got us moving. But we also know that we can't quite achieve everything without some of those stumbling blocks. So what were maybe some of those lower points? What were maybe some of those kind of challenges that just made the wins that much sweeter? And I want everyone to take a big deep breath in and out. In again. and out. You can go ahead and open your eyes with us. And here is kind of the start of the actual exercise. So turn to a blank page, number 1 through 21 on one side, or you can scatter it all over, whatever visually appeals to you. And I want you to write down no particular number, no particular amount, 21 memories, maybe learnings, reflections about 2021. And like I said, it could be everything from some of those wins, some of those reflective intentions, some of those things you kind of want to start, stop, and continue. And then just think about kind of what comes up for you. What do you want to carry into this new year? What is something that you maybe need to acknowledge that happened, but leave it in 2020, or even leave it in 2021, all of those things. So kind of work through kind of piece by piece as you go. And like I said, I know this is going to be difficult. If you get stuck, please feel free to reach out into the chat, share as you go. We're here to connect, but also celebrate, inspire, tap into some of that creativity. We're going to give you ample time to do this. We'll be here, we'll be around. So I am going to stop talking. I'm going to play some music and we will check in a little bit. Hey everyone, just going to do a quick check-in. Loved seeing all of the sharing and just kind of the camaraderie that the community builds, celebrating those, wins, the reflections. But what I also love seeing is the positive reframing of some of those low points and challenges, which I always feel like is just embracing that hope opportunity that I feel like the new year starts. For those of you, I feel like it was a little hard to get started. I fell into that category. So obviously a good starting point. I loved the phone idea, going through your photos and embracing some of those, because obviously that was a moment you captured. So there was some sort of significance there. I also think like a great opportunity to start with some of those hobbies, the movies that, you saw that really spoke to you, the TV commercials that made you cry, kind of all of those like vivid memories that you can think of and add. I feel like it doesn't have to be too big, doesn't have to be too small. Other suggestions are, as if you've been a Silk and Sonder member for a while, going back to some of those older journals, looking at your reflections, intentions, kind of all of those as you go through. But I also think one thing to continue to embrace is just having grace for yourself if you couldn't come up with everything. It's certainly one of those things. This is a great starting point. I loved the repurposing of the monthly expense tracker. I'm not one that uses those very often. So if you do that, there's 30 opportunities to reflect. But just kind of keep that in mind. This is not something you have to do right now. It's not something you have to have finished now. Maybe this is just something that you add into kind of your journal or monthly routine, kind of as we do with the reflections and intentions, and embrace some of those one things that you did each day, embrace some of those really wonderful moments. But I'm going to go ahead and give you some more time to kind of finish this up. For those of you that have come up with your 21 things, that's amazing. Um, but also let's take a look at those and kind of think what are we going to take into the new year with those things? What are maybe some of the start, stop, continue things that we want to have? I saw a lot of people kind of having those tough conversations and ending those kind of toxic relationships, kind of finding those balances, embracing kind of the self-care route. So let's continue to share in the chat for those that are having still a tough time to come up with this. Like I said, this was going to be hard. I knew it was going to be hard. I had to embrace it. I had to dig a little bit deep. So it's certainly one of those things that's this purpose. As I joke, like I need to start bringing tissues to these things because I've already started tearing up over some of this stuff. But we're here to help. We're here to support. Throw anything out there. There are no wrong answers here. It's just how you want to see your year as all of those things, and how you kind of want to move into the next month, move into the next quarter, and then I feel like we'll blink and it'll be the end of next year. But just kind of getting that hope and excitement going. So again, gonna stop talking, gonna put some music back on, and we will see you in a little bit. Hello, everyone. Thank you, everybody, for sharing everything that you had. Loved again seeing the opportunities to celebrate your wins throughout this year. Feel like we've had a pretty great year. Not only celebrating those wins, but also embracing when you need it for some of those challenges and low points. I think we've got a good set of things that can take us into this next year. But again, thank you everyone for coming. We have thoroughly enjoyed you here. Thank you everybody for sharing what you did. Loved seeing it, loved enjoying it. If you want to, please take a picture and share in Sonder Club. Either of the earlier imagination activity is still embracing that kind of crazy, wild, super fun opportunity. And then, again, digging a little bit deeper into some of these socials, which we love to see, by embracing kind of the kind of hard, the wins, the good, the bad, the ugly, the, don't know how we got here, but we did. And so thank you. Other thing is please scan that QR code with your phone to take the survey. We read all of your feedback. That's kind of how socials were created. That's why more socials were created. So why we have the breakdown of those. And for those of you that have been longtime kind of subscribers, you saw that our new journal layout was different. So we hear you. We love the feedback. We've got continuing kind of new things in the works, always something new, something different. Definitely make sure you check out the daily rituals that Mayha does, the new and improved kind of bingo boards. We also have other socials coming up, so certainly take a look at Eventbrite to get on those, as well as through the app. But we definitely want to continue to interact with all of you. And as it was pointed out, the weekly setup is later tonight. So if you have the opportunity to do that, please do so. Jennifer can post the survey as well. You'll also get the survey in an email in the next 24, 48 hours to fill those out. But again, we are so happy to have you. We were so glad that you came. And, it doesn't matter the progress that was here. It was the fact that you showed up for an hour of self-care for you. Hope to see everybody soon. Thank you again. And at the same time, we're going to go out with a fun, peppy song. Get up and go. Start your year. See you soon.